This is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with a story that's new at noon. A Crookston man has serious injuries and is also facing charges after rolling his vehicle southeast of Thompson, North Dakota early this morning. The Highway Patrol says 22-year-old John Anchinato was driving on 6th Avenue Northeast when he went off the road just after 3 this morning. He overcorrected and ended up rolling his Chrysler 300 end over end. He was taken to All True for his injuries, and the Highway Patrol says charges are pending. Firefighters are making progress on the horse pasture fire in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. As of this morning, the wildfire is 50% contained. Lighter winds yesterday helped responders gain more control. An estimated 5,000 acres has burned, but so far no structure damage has been reported. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Well, some of us have been seeing some rain this morning, but could we expect even more? Let's check in with Summer Snow. Hey, Summer.
Hey, Brian. It's been a little bit of a gloomy start to our day, but we need the rain. As we've been saying for weeks on end, we've been having persistent drought conditions across the state, particularly out west. They're not currently seeing any rain, but here's the view from our Corwin Auto Skycam network in South Fargo. Those raindrops still hitting the lens, and here's a few updated rain reports as of about 2 minutes ago. I just updated these. 1.69 inches already have fallen in Parker's Prairie, Minnesota. 1.45 in Ottertail, just over an inch in Wadena, just under an inch in Campbell and Perham. Wahpeton picking up around 3/4 of an inch. Same thing with Morton, North Dakota. 0.6 in Oaks, 0.44 in Pine Point, and around 1/10 of an inch here in Fargo. And the rain is going to continue. We're seeing it slowly push to the north and east. Even some lightning strikes and some thunder in portions of Lakes Country out towards Brainerd, Fergus Falls, and Alexandria. But as it's progressing to the north, it's losing that tiny bit of convective activity, and only a few of us will hear some thunder or see some lightning for today. Your hourly planner today in Fargo, temperatures remaining fairly steady in those upper 40s with on and off rain showers. And Brian, it's going to be a little bit breezy. In fact, portions of central North Dakota still under critical fire weather where they're not seeing the rain. I'll time out when we will maybe see the rain end and how much we might expect coming up in a few minutes.
We'll definitely check in with you to find out where and when it's going to be raining, because I know a lot of areas could definitely use that moisture.
Right, yeah.
Thanks, Summer. Well, careless use of smoking materials is to blame for an apartment fire in Grand Forks that did major damage. It happened around noon yesterday in the 3500 block of Cherry Street in Grand Forks. Fire crews battled heavy smoke and fire coming from the roof. There is significant damage to the roof and second floor, and water and smoke damage throughout the rest of the building. Damage is estimated at $200,000. Fargo Cass Public Health says elementary students have been caught vaping in Cass County, and now health officials are educating parents on how to spot the signs. They say kids are getting sneaky and can vape in the car without parents even noticing. They call it zeroing out, where kids hold in the vapor in their lungs long enough for the scent and cloud of vape to disperse. Now, health experts say to keep an eye out for unexplained sweet or fruity smells, frequent headaches or nausea, declining academic or athletic performance, dull sense of taste, or moody and impulsive behavior. Now, the Spot the Signs campaign also talks about spotting nicotine addiction. Your child may be addicted if they can't leave the house without a vape, have anxiety if the device isn't nearby, or need to hit to calm down. We have a link on valleynewslive.com for more information about vaping or to get help quitting tobacco products. A shift in the trial of Derek Shavon today, the former police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. As Jay Gray reports, they've been turning to health experts for testimony in this case.
Hey there, look, as the trial moves forward, I think you've got to look for more policing experts on the stand, really getting into the police policy when it comes to use of force and training techniques. That's something that they've been focused on over the last couple of days. Also, I think as we move into this day, you'll see a bit of a shift. They'll start to talk more about the medical aspects of this trial. Of course, drug use by George Floyd has been something that the defense has pushed on as being one of the causes for his death. And I think you might see the prosecution try to get out ahead of that a little bit by calling some of their expert witnesses. Again, this is the part of the trial that's been technical. We started with all of the emotion. Now we get to the technical side of this. Look for the prosecution to wrap things up at some point by getting back to that emotion, back to that viral cell phone video of the incident. That's the latest right now. Here in Minneapolis, I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
How far should you go to defend yourself before resorting to deadly force? That's the question before North Dakota lawmakers who'll be voting soon on the state's version of Stand Your Ground. If someone is being treated, Stand Your Ground removes any requirement to treat before using deadly force to protect yourself. Some see it as a law allowing excuses for extreme reactions, while others see it as trying to protect homes and lives. Some concerned citizens told lawmakers yesterday that they worry the bill would open the door for domestic abuse to become even more dangerous. The bill passed the House with more than 80% of members supporting it. If the Senate approves it and the governor signs it, North Dakota would join nearly 40 other states who would also Stand Your Ground law. A North Dakota man is going to prison for 4 years and is ordered to pay nearly $2 million in restitution for bank fraud and stealing livestock. Kelly Glott of Mandan took out a loan to buy cattle, then hid personal assets and fraudulently filed a lien in another person's name. Prosecutors say he also took custody of multiple other people's cattle as either a caretaker or partner, then legally transported the animals across state lines. An assisted living home in Detroit Lakes is dealing with a bedbug infestation. An employee of Lakes Homes in Detroit Lakes alerted us to bed bugs in a home, which cares for adults living with disabilities and mental illness. They provided us with these photos where you can see the bed bugs on wheelchairs and on furniture. The whistleblower tells us they've been dealing with bed bugs for 6 months, but the development director at Lakes Homes admits it goes back further than that.
So actually it was August when we first started treating this situation. All the residents left the house. They turned everything inside out and upside down while they treated. We were evacuated from the home for 8 hours, and then they were allowed to come back in.
DeVolt says they are still treating the home and trying to get rid of the bedbug problem. A Fargo woman is asking for help after her dog was attacked by a neighbor's dog. Carol Kodvid says she was working in her yard when the neighbor's dog attacked her pet Beamer. He had to get several stitches and a shunt placed in his head, which cost Carol nearly $700. Carol says the owners of the other dog weren't willing to pay the vet bill. She's asking for witnesses to come forward so she can prove what happened. If you have any information, you're asked to call police. With the snow melted and temperatures on the rise, you are all probably ready to start gardening and landscaping. Exo Energy says to be careful when digging in your yard to not strike anything dangerous with a shovel. Last year, Exo Energy responded to nearly 20 incidents where buried gas and electrical lines were not located before digging and were damaged. Exo says to call 811 before you start a project. Professional locators will mark the approximate locations of underground lines with flags, spray paint, or both. Hitting a single utility line can be dangerous, cause outages, and cost you fines and repair costs. And in North Dakota, homeowners and contractors should call 811 at least 2 days before starting a project. Well, coming up at noon, a natural artist is honoring veterans by telling their stories through song. And can we receive more rain today? Weather up next with Summer Snowbuck.